Greetings, guys, and welcome to the Intergalactic Outlaw. Today, I'm going to be bringing you a video about Trigun and Vash the Stampede, as well as his companion, Nicholas Wolfwood. Trigun immorality. This video is going to be covering Trigun. No, not that Trigun. That one's a different story in all of itself. But this will be covering spoilers, so now is your spoiler alert if you have never seen the original Trigun. The journey I'll be talking about here is that of Vash the Stampede and Nicholas Wolfwood, two men looking for two answers to the same question, and that question is as old as time itself, as in, what is just? We start our journey with our prickly-haired friend Vash. Vash is a very unique character in that he represents pacifism on a planet literally called Gunsmoke. His character archetype, as Jung would say, is a hero. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Why state the obvious? It's because Vash just isn't any hero, he's a tragic hero. Now let me explain. The goofy and clown-like hero actually suffers a lot from tragedy stemming from his own morality. At the start of his journey, we're told he's a vicious killer and a destroyer of worlds. The jovial and gleeful character who we're introduced to, we clearly find out is not that guy. As we see Vash do countless charitable acts and selfless acts, we are slowly told how and why he got this way. His philosophy has developed on a spaceship by his caretaker, Rim. On this ship, where Vash was a boy, he would see his friends die, his loved ones, and he would learn the meaning of death, suffering, but he would also learn the meaning of love and mercy and compassion, not too unlike a certain figure in religion. However, everywhere Vash would go on Gunsmoke, Vash would see the opposite of these things. He would see countless acts of selfishness, murder, greed, and mercilessness. This would lead the hero to eventually challenge his morality and test his goal, which was no killing, ultimately in his final bout with Legato Blue Summers. As stated before, Vash was faced with a world outside of himself, counter to his own beliefs. And it put him to a test, and a lot of these tests he did prevail. He was able to be a pacifist through a lot of the story and a lot of the anime. But ultimately, the test given to him by Legato Blue Summers was his ultimate test. They had tried forcing Vash to kill by changing his arm against his will. They had forced certain situations upon Vash, but the ultimate situation is that they put Vash in a challenge where he had to relive choosing his loved ones or the lives of others. And this is what Legato Blue Summers knew would be his true victory over Vash. Because, as in going back to the tragic hero, where the hero dies, in this story, Vash himself may not literally die, but his beliefs in Rim and his beliefs in not killing in his pacifist ways die ultimately when he's forced to kill Legato Blue Summers, and this was Legato's true victory. Vash himself states, the moment he kills, she will be dead, meaning Rim. He's so attached to this idea that he takes countless beatings, which is shown by the marks on his body, and he takes countless punishment and torture just because he never wants to kill. But this test, Legato knew it was either kill or be killed, and that was Legato's victory. It ultimately ended up killing Vash's morality and his beliefs alongside them, as he went through his largest struggle yet, which was his mental struggle after that bout. Ultimately, in killing Legato, Vash is given new life and a sense of freedom. After he takes the life and after the death of Nicholas Wolfwood, we see Vash getting clothed and preparing his mind for Knives in the final face-off against his brother Knives. He even states this was her favorite color, geranium, and then he states determination, showing that yes, even though Vash has failed to keep his promise in terms of not killing, even though Vash has had to adapt his morality a bit and not killing, he still has determination, and he still ultimately has hope. He has hope he can save his brother Knives, and he has hope he can save this planet Gunsmoke. And he even states at the end of the show in a rather peaceful way that, though he'll always believe in Rim, now he'll find his own answers in his own way, stating that not only did Vash's morality when we first were introduced to him, not only was it challenged, not only was it defeated, but he has been reborn, and now he seeks to find his own answers and his true own morality and his own faith. Now let's get to Nicholas Wolfwood. In contrast to Vash, Nicholas contains traits of an anti-hero. While I wouldn't say he's a complete anti-hero or as extreme as Guts or Spawn, or even Elliot Alderson from Mr. Robot, he has no problems doing what Vash wants. Wolfwood is no stranger to killing. He goes as far as to kill a child because that child is seen as acting as a member of the Gun-Ho Guns. Wolfwood believes he can't be redeemed even though he teaches redemption and even though he's supposed to be a preacher. Wolfwood often seems faithless even though he's supposed to be a man of faith, and he even has a huge gun in the shape of a cross on his back. Now the thing that rebirths Wolfwood isn't necessarily death, but it's actually life, and seeing Vash be a pacifist and care for life in the face of death, and when faced with many foes, and even seeing Vash be peaceful to his enemies who just tried to kill him a few minutes ago. Wolfwood sees Vash and how Vash handles things with peace and pacifism, even his enemies, people who were just trying to literally kill Vash a few minutes ago. And Wolfwood comments on how this would get Vash killed one day or force Vash to be somebody he doesn't want to be. It's through these simple acts of kindness that rebirth Wolfwood and change how he views the world and actually restores his faith. When Wolfwood is confronted with his past, being his final battle against Chapel the Evergreen, he defeats his past and he wins the fight, symbolizing that Wolfwood is now becoming his own man and moving past what his mentor, Chapel the Evergreen, taught him, and moving past his mercilessness and moving more towards faith. Even when Wolfwood passes away, we see him lying by his cross in a church, symbolizing with heavy religious symbolism, I guess, that Wolfwood is going to heaven. So my guess would be through the rebirth, Wolfwood is supposed to have some kind of spiritual rebirth, but Wolfwood in his way, even though it brings him to death, is still reborn and still changes because of acts of kindness, to the opposite of Vash, who changes because of acts of violence. Vash and Wolfwood are two answers to the same question, one being considered a monster to the outer world, and the other being considered a monster to himself. Which is the important thing about both of these characters and how they ended up. Vash lived off of the choice he made and had his resolve, and so did Wolfwood. When both confronted by their past, they both dealt with their past in two different ways, and they both prevailed in their own different ways. I think that Trigun teaches us, much like Miyamoto Musashi would say, there are many ways to climb a mountain. So now I ask you, the listener, which path would you go down? Which path do you think that you're on, and how would you deal with leaving the past? That's been my video on Trigun, Wolfwood, and Vash. Thanks for watching, and remember to click that like button and that subscribe button if you like. Stay tuned for more. Peace.